Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we done some Wilson iron testing last week, Matty boy.
Yep, they showed up really well.
Really good, really impressed with that. Lots of support for Wilson in the comments last week, which was great to see. And like we alluded to, we do have more product from them to test. Today's test is going to be their golf ball. Something we're pretty fascinated in is this raw, unpainted version.
Yeah, that's kind of what grabbed my attention first. I know they've had a high-end ball for some amount of time. I think it's usually been under the staff model name.
Yeah.
So that ball is there, and we're going to test that. Kind of your regular, pearly white golf ball that you've seen a million times on the shelf. And then this one that looks just very dull and literally unpainted. Yeah,
I mean, it's the staff model, and the staff model R stands for raw. It does look a bit odd, doesn't it? I mean, it looks... We were saying, what does it look like? It looks like a putt-putt ball, or it looks like a limited flight ball or something, just because that's what you're used to seeing.
Exactly.
With some of these kind of, like the matte finish, that type of thing. But it's not, it is a premium golf ball.
Same construction inside, 4 pieces?
Yes, same construction, but it does offer some different playing characteristics.
Right.
It does appear to be a lower flighted, higher spinning golf ball. I mean, you kind of just literally take 2 golf balls and just give them the quick kind of across with your thumb or whatever.
Yeah.
You can feel the friction's very different on the raw golf ball.
Very much so.
It's much more friction. So I'll be very interested to see if it adds some spin. Both very firm, 99 compression on the My Golf Spy Ball Lab test.
Right.
So they should kind of offer some good balance, some good distance with a firm golf ball. We've tested Wilson balls in the past.
Yes.
The Duo, very soft.
Yeah.
That's really been all our experience so far with Wilson golf ball. The 29 compression, that type of thing.
On the extreme end of it, I think it was a different kind of intended target with those ones.
Yeah.
These ones are interesting because I think most of the testing that ourselves and Golf Spy have done is the firmer ball tends to give even a lower swing speed player more ball speed off the driver.
Yeah.
So aside from the feel that you may not love the firmer feel, your performance is usually benefited from it.
Yep.
And then this finish, kind of working like a raw wedge, right, to get more friction on the wedges and short irons. Honestly, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. So, we'll see how it holds up. I'm curious how it holds up to the durability test.
Yeah, it's going to get a battering from some pretty fresh grooves.
Definitely. Let's do our usual. Let's do a 50-yard wedge test. I'm curious because when we were doing some T22 testing last week,
yes,
we were seeing some really great spin numbers out of that wedge. And
very spinny.
I think this golf ball is going to throw up some really high spin numbers. You've got a nice amount of spin that comes off your SM8s, but certainly not, not outrageously high.
It's nothing kind of out of the, I would say, tour wedge tolerance. Like most of these wedges spin in a kind of a similar window, and I think this is one of them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some 50-yard shots to kick us off here. That's a lovely little opener there. You'd be delighted with that. That's another really nice one.
Do it. Oh. That one felt nice. That's a nice one.
Yeah, so it definitely, the raw ball does spin more in launch, certainly a little bit lower on that test, Matty. We did find it's a little more high maintenance though, in the sense of, if you're not cleaning that golf ball, which is obviously hard to do. By the time you get a wedge in your hand, you've dirtied it some way, somehow, if it's hit a fairway or whatever.
I kind of found and this is a bit of a unique situation in here.
Yeah.
Hitting that raw ball kind of consecutively, I almost felt like there was a bit of a film on the face, like a dust.
Yeah.
And maybe that was giving a couple slippy ones. I dried it off and polished it off.
Yeah.
And the next shot was great. So.
Right.
I mean, how many people are going to need that exact scenario and be worried about it? Probably not that many, but something to keep in mind.
Bit different, isn't it? Yeah, something bit of a new experience for us to see that. I mean, guys, importance of if you're trying to spin your wedges high, clean the face.
Yes, clean that face.
Clean that face. I mean, nothing. Perhaps nothing is more important in the whole thing than having a clean club face with nothing in the grooves when you're trying to hit a nicely, nicely sort of spin, high spin shot.
It made a night and day difference, didn't it? Yeah.
Okay, let's kind of stretch out to the full wedge.
We'll do the P wedge.
Looking wedge.
That's a nice one. That sound different to you?
A little bit.
Yeah, it just sounded like slightly different. It's nice, very similar.
Okay, Matty boy. Yeah, you struck the raw. Actually, those strikes were really, really nice.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the ball speed increases from. But
Agree.
It's right there with the launch and spin. So the staff model spun great. Still quite high, 10,121, and the raw was 10,000, just shy of 10,300, 10,298. Both good, but again, lower launch, higher spin.
It's quite interesting. It's
good.
Again, if you want to provide yourself a little bit more of that tour flight, it's working really nicely.
Especially when again, everything in golf balls is compared to Titleist. I don't care what anyone says.
Just the truth.
It's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Titleist's golf ball, the way they differentiate right now, it's higher launch, higher spin, lower launch, lower spin with Pro V and Pro V1X.
They couple them.
Yeah. Whereas these obviously are slightly different in their characteristics. So, again, trying to differentiate themselves, offer value to the client, or the player who wants the opposite of that. Oh, tree to navigate now.
Just buzz that tree. Yep, nice.
Very good. That's a lovely shot. Pin seeker.
That's
Just
all over it.
A little bit more on that one.
It's good. There you go. That's such a nice flight. Hit that so high.
Okay, pal, seeing the launch come a little bit closer to one another here, especially since you are slightly more to the left with the staff model,
right?
The painted version, so that would account for that launch being up, but it actually should spin a bit more with that, so there definitely is spin separation, that's for sure.
Yeah, the raw just has a few
little
extra
bit more
percent
to it.
Yep.
Yeah. We're having again to be mindful of a clean club face.
Definitely.
We saw some low spin, knuckly ones, 64 dropping quite a bit, but we're just saying your standard 7-iron spins about 6,200, maybe 6,000 to 6,200. These are considerably higher.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a great ball. I think we've dealt with some other balls that are maybe a little bit on the extreme side, having to recommend people a Mizuno or a Kirkland if they need a bit more spin. I think this is a nicer amount. This is kind of like half a club more spin for the person that maybe knuckles the irons too much or has trouble with their distance control, getting flyers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite a good golf ball.
I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
I really do. Just like a big par 3.
Little high spinny fade. Get up there. Ooh.
Oh.
Similar.
Mm-hmm.
Hop.
Yep, that's the lower spin one. It's going
That's
to carry
got more on it,
further.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Right into the middle of the green.
Kick on for me. That should be on too.
That one looks like it's got less spin, Matty.
Yep, a little
it.
higher in the
Do
face.
it.
Get up there.
Oh. Yeah, both reacted nicely off the driver. I would say the difference in kind of launch and spin probably has more to do with gear effect.
Yeah, a bit higher strike on average with the Model R.
Yep, that's how we kind of see that. Yeah, ball's still spinning a little bit for you.
It's still spinning a bit for me, yeah. And I would say I was trying to make swings that were a little bit, hopefully moving a bit right to left.
Yeah.
Just to regulate the distance a bit. And what I was surprised by is making that type of swing that should compress the ball a bit less, that the ball speed was still so high.
Yeah, we had a couple of 175s in there, which was pretty tasty.
So it does a good job. I think if I were to stand on the range and say, hit a few draws, I'm sure the ball would spin 25, 24.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big concern. I think just right now, the way my swing is and trying to hit that target, I think it just lended itself to a bit higher spin and it worked out nice.
Overall take, you like it?
What do they cost?
$45 a dozen.
I mean, they're awfully good, man. They're awfully good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're for everybody. There's going to be people watching that go, well, I spin everything too much, so look elsewhere. But
Yeah.
anyone that wants to play a ball that will spin nicely around the greens, give them more height and spin on the irons. The driver, I mean, I would loft this down and it would spin in a good window. It's not
Yeah.
a big deal.
We don't fit the ball to the driver.
No.
We fit the driver to the ball, as we've said many times. We fit the ball to the short game and the iron play, the scoring game.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah, and then we would look to try and get a driver that spun a little bit less in your hands to maximise the performance out of that. Doesn't work exactly how you would want it with your driver, but we're not saying that the ball is misperforming here.
No, just the way that we set it up was for this
Yeah.
particular shot. I wouldn't probably play the raw ball just because we did occasionally see those inconsistencies. I'm not saying it's a huge problem and maybe someone else would never notice,
Yeah.
but I think the painted ball performed consistently the whole way, and I liked everything about it, that I probably wouldn't see a need to switch over
Yeah.
to the other one. They did say that some of it is aerodynamics, so the more paint you put on it, I guess it can get inconsistent. So obviously we can't test that here.
Yep.
The raw ball probably does have an advantage in terms of aerodynamics. But if I was picking it based on this test, yeah, I think I'd play the staff model ball.
Yeah, I would do the same as you. I think if trying that and the painted version would be my choice. It looks great, looks premium, looks nice and bright.
Looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's good.
Good ball. A nice alignment line I was looking at for putting.
Yeah.
I think they did a really nice job. It looked very straight, very symmetrical. So
Yep.
a nice one.
Size of the logo,
It's a bit big.
bit big. I heard some comments, people saying that the logo is a bit big. Other people say they love the Wilson Staff shield.
I think it should just be the staff shield. They don't need to put Wilson Staff under it. I think
Yeah.
that would help quite a bit, but that's just me nitpicking on
Yeah,
the branding.
being
But
picky,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that would make a little improvement. Maybe the 3-color version of the Wilson Staff badge, and that would be awfully sharp.
Okay, guys, another Wilson product that we think is really good value. A slightly cheaper price point than your top dogs, your Bridgestones, your Titleist, that type of thing. But we don't really think you're giving up much.
No.
Unique characteristics in it. It's very high spin. There's a low launch and a slightly what I call low and a mid launch version in the raw and the standard. We did see some spin discrepancies with the raw. Clean the face, those go away.
They were great.
We never saw that with the painted one. We
No.
only saw it with the raw one. Again, this is not a several thousand shot test. This is us, doing a kind of short sample size. But when it pops up, we do tend to see these things are worth making note of.
I agree. It's worth considering if it may affect you, or even if it just affects your confidence on the course, then you may be better off with the painted one just so you don't kind of have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good stuff. More Wilson clubs to test. We've got some woods, we've got a driving iron. We have their blade, which looks handsome. A lot of people kind of mentioned how much they love the look of that staff blade. So we do have some more testing coming up with the Wilson product. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome.
We'll see you again soon.